All right. What's happening, everybody? Man, I don't know about you guys. I'm freaking fired up. We're going to fast forward a week from today. We'll be having some playoff games. We'll actually be squeezed into that Wednesday. But girls' playoff basketball starts, what did you call it, 8 days from now, next Thursday, man. So games have to be wrapped up by Saturday. A lot of teams only have, one, maybe two games left. Some teams are even done. Like we have right here, man. Comment any district champions below. Although those district teams don't get that full PowerPoint bonus, we want to give those guys a shout out. Appreciate everybody for tuning in with us, man. We're going to jump going in reverse order this time. We're going with Class B and C. And for those that don't know, as we're going through this is all projections. We took the time out, broke down the bracket, updated everything. We'll go through it bracket by bracket. If playoffs started today, you would see exactly what the bracket is. Again, these games can fluctuate slightly, a little bit up or down. But for the most part, especially without that full PowerPoint, this is pretty locked in. You can go up maybe 1, 2 slots, down 1 or 2, but it's not going to be too much movement. For those that are new, we are following on GoPreps.com. They just did their last update. Shout out to those guys. Last update was at 7:30. So the update that I have is from 5:30. So I think at this point now they're running updates every 2 hours. So there are a couple games tonight. They will fluctuate up or down. Even if your team's not playing, if it's a team that you have played, it can fluctuate a little bit. But yeah, man, for the most part, we're pretty locked in. And 8 days away, playoff brackets will be released on Monday for those that are unaware of that. Game times will be set Monday, Tuesday, and we'll be rocking and rolling, man, come Thursday. Coach Kendrick, man, shout out to the North, man. What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Not much, man. We cold and raining up here, man. That's about it. What is it like down there?
Hey, we got the wind coming, man. I got a tea time in the morning. I'm hoping the rain holds off a little bit. But I don't know if not we're gonna be out there, with some raincoats, man. But yeah, it's definitely getting windy down here, man. We are recovered from the Super Bowl weekend. I think everyone's kind of moving in slow motion from this point on, man. But Super Bowl weekend was a lot of fun, man. But like I said before, nothing fires me up any more than high school girls basketball, man. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Anybody comment below, man? Let us know who you're rooting for. We're gonna start it out with, let's see here. That is in the way. Class B, select. Oh, I guess this is not really select or not select. It says select on the page there. So this is Class C. So again, we're gonna go reverse order than what we are normally going with. Again, guys, comment below. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Both of those rocking and rolling. We're going to break down each bracket into the 4 brackets. So what we're looking at here is kind of what's some potential matchups, and then who do we think could kind of come out of this bracket. So whoever wins this bracket that you see on the video on the board right now is going to punch their ticket to that top 28, the Final Four, the date at Southeastern. So that's your goal. You want to win this little small bracket here and win these couple games. Then you're advancing yourself to the Final Four. Coach Kendrick, man, you want to lead us off? Class C. We talked about it last time. I think the very first time we gave a lot of credit to Simpson. We had some people a little upset. We weren't shouting out Simpson, man. Here's your opportunity, man. Give Simpson a shout out. We know they rocking and
Yeah,
rolling for sure.
yeah, man. I know we always saying LCA invitation, the Wiseman invitation. Can we already start saying the Simpson invitation? I don't know, man.
They're gonna be good for a
They've
while
been,
too. That's a good point.
yeah, they've been really solid all year long, and so they've put themselves in a position to they've had a couple hiccups, but they lose to Oak Hill, they lose to Leesville. Other than that, um, man, they've been running this division. So until somebody beats them, with being the number 1 seed, having that first round bye, they're sitting pretty tight here. I got them coming out of this top division right here.
Yeah, anybody in the comments, you think there's anybody in this division or this bracket, this section of this bracket that can compete with them? Simpson is tough right here. They play a style of basketball again that you're going to see in the Bees, playing up and down, really fast tempo. They got a big they can throw it into consistently. Just kind of looking down the bracket again, like we talked about a little bit, of teams that could give them some issues. Again, I really like Phoenix, man. If Serenity can get back healthy, anybody from Phoenix, comment below. Let me know if Serenity is back. I know they were talking about Serenity being back. I'm not sure if she is fully back right now. But I think Bell. I mean, Bell City's in the next bracket. I think Simpson's gonna rock and roll right here with this
Uh,
bracket. And
well,
as you kind of see it break down a little bit, we can kind of talk about it, the top four, a little bit more. But let's jump into the next one. So we're going to go down still Class C. This is where we get the you got the Phoenix and the Reeve matchup here. Again, that's probably your two better teams. That's going to look like we have been talking about that 4 and 5 matchup. We felt like Simpson was out ahead of everybody. We felt like Summerfield was out ahead of everybody. Also, we thought Plainview had the experience, having been there, that they can get up there and make it back to Southeastern. Who is going to be that fourth team? And it looks like it's going to come down to this little bracket here, man. What's your thoughts, man? Phoenix, Reeves, and New Kids on the Block. It would be nice to see either one of these teams really getting some new blood in there at Southeastern. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, Phoenix, if they get the kid that you're talking about back, could really make a run here at Hammond. And as a 5 seed, 5-4, you're pretty much the same seed there. You have to place each other in the quarterfinals. Let's see. But if Phoenix can get healthy there with that one piece that they potentially missing, I'll go on record, Phoenix. You did it last week, so I'll go on record this week.
Okay, Reeves, you heard it here first. Coach Kendrick says Reeves cannot get it done at home. Reeves, the young group's going to have to wait another year to punch their ticket. You
Yeah,
heard
you're
it
gonna have
here
to wait
first.
another
He
year,
says
man.
Reeves gets upset in the quarterfinals at home. I love it. I love it, man. Again, I really like both these teams, man. Two great programs, great fan bases. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. That might actually be a game that we can consider going to watch live in that quarterfinals. The whole town of Reeves is going to show up. Phoenix is going to travel really well. Even though they're away from down here, man, they're going to travel extremely well. Those guys really rally around their groups. This smaller town basketball that we talked about, that's probably the most exciting quarterfinal matchup that I'm looking forward to, man. Reeves has got the athletes, the talent, the youth. Playing at home helps them a lot. They need to be at home way more than Phoenix needs to be at home. I think it would be a lot more difficult for Reeves to go on the road and win at Phoenix. Phoenix is a little bit more battle tested with the age and the size. If Serena can get back healthy, I can see it going either way. I'm gonna table that one for another conversation. But you heard it here first, man.
Come on, man. You
Coach
was
Kendrick
all out
said, man.
front.
Coach Kendrick said.
You was driving the bus last week. Come on.
Reeves is definitely going to be a problem for years to come, as they say there. Then we'll jump
Yeah.
down to the third spot there, man. You got Plainview again. Looks like they're going to kind of cruise at least into that quarterfinal area. Again, just
Right.
that veteran leadership. With the point guard, the forward, enough talent around them where they're used to playing home games in the playoffs. They're used to getting those games at their place and just taking care of business at the end of the day. I see Plainview rocking and rolling here. Guys in the comments, I don't know if Calvin has enough. What do you guys think? They are 26 and 6. I'm gonna take a look at their record a little bit. Coach, you want to fill in any other
Yeah,
information there? They
yeah,
did defeat
Calvin.
Claiborne.
I was just fixing to talk about Calvin. Calvin has a big matchup at the end on that Saturday when everybody else is pretty much done. They're gonna go. Natchitoches is gonna travel to them, Natchitoches Central. So that's gonna be a big matchup. Can they get those power points from knocking off a 5A powerhouse? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so
What is
that's
that?
so they are 0.65 away from Phoenix. If that when you play up like that, you do get a huge bonus. That is definitely a good point to put because Phoenix is playing 7-21 West Jeff. So while they will also get some bonus points there as well, they won't get as many. So that's gonna be something to keep an eye on. If they do upset them, Phoenix and Calvin could flip flop. And then you got Phoenix. If I'm Plainview and I'm Reeves, I don't want to see Phoenix, man. I do not want to see Phoenix. That's what I'm really keeping an eye on in this bracket. If I'm one of these other coaches, Phoenix is that sleeper. Is they can get Serenity back. If they can get Serenity back, then they're that sleeper right there. Let's see who's at the bottom right here. Guys, comment anybody else below. What's your guys' thoughts as well? Can Calvin, if that were to happen right there, can they come in with that upset over Plainview? Then we jump down to the bottom half here. Got Summerfield, man. Summerfield's been rocking and rolling. Gibson Coleman, we talked about that. Lost one of their players. Transfer. What's your thoughts here, man? Summerfield.
Oh, I think Summerfield should find their way into Hammond here. Gibson Coleman is kind of riding the ship. Last I checked, they lost a player due to injury, but it looked like they still gotten it. Didn't do too hot early on in the year, but lately, since they've gotten in the district later part of the year, they've riding the ship. Look like, and so they've gotten it rocking and rolling, 16-9. Can they upset Summerfield? I don't know. We're gonna see because tomorrow they got a matchup.
Yep.
Summerfield, Gibson Coleman at Gibson Coleman. So we're gonna see if the Gibson Coleman can get this early test, early look at, if it comes down to a quarterfinal game, can we beat them? This time they'll have them at Gibson Coleman. If it comes down to this, like we got on the screen here, it'll be at Summerfield. So Gibson will, have a good shot to see a measuring stick to see if they can play with them here.
Absolutely, and that's great feedback, man. If Summerfield loses that game, I believe Plainview will actually jump them. So that's a big game too, because then you're going down to you're getting closer to that Phoenix area, as they're only separated by .04. So again, everybody watching, man, we took the time to kind of, if the brackets were happening today, right now, this is what it would look like. Or actually 5:30 today, as they updated just a few minutes ago. But this is projections. There are still one game left. So Summerfield and Plainview, wins or losses one way or the other, they can definitely flip-flop. And that's something to keep an eye on too, man. I do like Summerfield. I think Summerfield is a team that can compete in this division. I think it's Simpson, Summerfield, and Plainview. All three are kind of 1A, 1B, 1C. Simpson's probably a little bit higher, but I love Summerfield's schedule, man. Looking at their schedule and who they've tested themselves with, they're extremely, extremely battle tested. If they can take care of business against Gibson Coleman, they'll lock up that 2 seed. And I think they will really like where they're at, 2 weeks from now, as they'll be punching their ticket to Southeastern and playing over there at Hammond. Guys, anybody comment below. We're going to jump into B. Coach, you want to leave anything else with Class C?
No.
Who's your early favorite to win Class C right now? Put them on the record.
I would have to go Simpson. Early favorite. But catch me after Friday and let's see what we're talking about.
I'm going with the dark horse, man. I love Simpson and what they've done. Looking at Summerfield's schedule, battle tested. That's where I'm leaning right now, Summerfield. But I want to see how they handle against Gibson Coleman. And obviously, they can't get a tough draw with that Phoenix draw. If they can avoid Phoenix, I like Summerfield because once they get to that big stage, I think they're going to really be ready, man. Playing the tough schedule that they played, I think that's going to – we saw that with Wasserman and teams like that in the past, right? We saw that with Madison Prep and Vanderbilt Catholic. These guys that battle test their teams early, it really pays off once they get to the tournament. But they got to get there. They got to get there. We're going to jump into Class B again, guys. We are going in reverse order. We're live on YouTube as well as Facebook. Share the stream, like the page, help us continue to grow the platform. These are all projection-based as of 5:30. 5:30 p.m. is whenever we did these. They could have changed since then. There was an update at 7:30. The official bracket will be released Monday. Most games are going on with games tomorrow and Friday, but most games will be finished by then. The last game to actually play is actually Saturday. Fairview, man, Class B, Fairview Invitational, or what we got here, man? We got a lot of Bell City fans in the building for sure.
Bell City is definitely online tonight. They are coming in live. Great feedback. Fairview, man, here in this top half of this bracket here, I don't see anybody that could probably, with that style of play, Jinx looks like she's been playing high school ball forever. And can she go out here as a senior? She's a senior this year, right?
Correct? Yeah.
And can she go out with one more state title? I'm going to book her trip to Hammond right now.
There you go. You heard it here first. Fairview makes it all the way down, man. So Fairview did lose to Anna Coco. I think that's something to kind of keep an eye on here. I don't see, it's not really matched up to where they where they could play each other as they're playing the 8 seed. So I think to your point, man, shout out to Fairview as they're able to avoid kind of like that top 5, 6, 7 guys on their route to the top 28. Really, I mean, there's really anything that can happen in that final on the way to the final four. You've seen a lot of upsets, Zachary Ponchatoula, the just kind of on down the line, man. A lot of upsets for Southern Westlake, just some big time upsets that I've seen in the past. You really want to be that 1 seed because, like you see here, that 1 seed is avoiding everybody, and they only have to play the 8 seed, and that's a home game. I think Fairview is far better than Florian, but I don't think Fairview is far better than Anacoco. I don't think Fairview is far better than like you're talking about Bell City, Oak Hill, some of these other teams. But shout out to them for doing the work that they've done, the schedule that they have. They're definitely going to lock up that 1 seed, and I agree with you, man. They're definitely going to cruise on here in that bracket. That gets us down to the next one, man. We got the 4-5 matchup, man. I really love these 4-5 matchups. That's something we can kind of keep an eye on. This is a matchup in that 4-5 where it could be a home game or whatnot, but that 4-5 is going to be locked in for the most part. But it could flip flop where Anacoco is only up by less than 0.2, some 0.18. So Anacoco could fall. Equipment could be the home team there. But what you like in this little bracket here? Hathaway's got some experience. Wiley's been playing some good basketball as of late.
Oh,
Equipment, Anacoco, what you got?
well, here's the thing, like you were just saying about PowerPoints, man, with equipment not too far behind Anacoco, with having to play Simsboro 13-13 on tomorrow. Correct? The 13th? Yes, on
Yep.
tomorrow. Don't know how much that'll jump them because Anacoco's done. Anacoco's done and sitting waiting on the bracket to come out. So it's that's a huge layoff as well. I don't, that's a huge with the first round bye. They have a first round bye, right?
Yeah, they
That's
do.
gonna be a huge layoff with the first round buys. You're talking about 2 Mondays from now.
Yep,
Having
correct.
them. That's a huge layoff. So coach is gonna have to be in the gym keeping his girls' legs fresh and up and down wind going. Yeah. So I got man coming out of this bracket. If everything stays the same here, it's gonna be a real good game between Equipment and Anacoco if that's the matchup in the quarterfinal. Um,
That's a
looking
good
at the
point. I think based off of what you said, looking at that, I think 4 and 5 flip flop there. That's gonna give Equipment a home game there. So like, what does that really equate to? I think that's a big game changer, man. Like you talk about, you're going on the road in the quarterfinals now, where everyone in the town is going to show up, man. Does that make a difference there in your decision from Equipment and Anacoco?
if you're looking at the schedules, like Equipment it has battle tested themselves as well. They played some 5A teams. They played some, the Haltons of the world. So they played, they played up a couple times. They played the Bentons. So they haven't shied away from competition this year. So you know what I mean. So have Anacoco. So it's gonna be a good test. Man, it's gonna be, that those games come down to which crowd's gonna show up and pack the gym and support their girls and give them that extra push to get over the hump. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll leave that discussion as far as picking that game to you.
All right, so here we go. We got some good information here, man. Again, guys, comment below, man. Please let us know any information. This is a great point here. So Anacoco has a district tournament. So that is something that is not common, I guess, for say with the district point going away. That's more like a traditional thing. A lot of people would play one round of district and then they would play a district tournament at the end. And then once you play that district tournament, then you're going to play whoever wins that would get that point, right? That would be how
Correct.
you crown your champion. So Anacoco with the district tournament, you're generally going to give a bye to your higher seeds, so they won't even be playing some of the lower seeds teams. So they would definitely have an opportunity to get one or even two really big time wins. So the ball's
Yeah.
going to be back in Anacoco's court there. I think that's huge there. Great feedback. Really appreciate that information, man. And again, I would have to lean a little bit towards Anacoco even without that home game, just because of like comments like this, man. They really, beat Fairview, Rose Pine, Barb. This is huge teams that they're competing with. I think they're kind of seeing the schedule that Fairview made here in the past few years, and they're like, look, in order to get our kids ready to rock and roll, we got to really play some of these big time teams. And again, I mean, those guys are able to play 44 games. So I think it's important that whenever you're able to play those 44 games, you go out, you test your team. So again, appreciate the comments there, guys. Anybody have any additional information, man, comment below, man. That definitely helps us out a lot. Appreciate everybody for tuning in with that. I'm going with Anacoco here in this little section of this bracket. I think that's going to be able to hold off and keep that home game. That gets us down to the bottom half. We got Oak Hill, Hicks, Family Community, Holden, and Picken. Again, I think the top 12 teams get a bye in this division. So these teams, some of these games will be played late next week. As teams do play early, they play on like a Friday or something like that, trying to avoid some of their boys' games and things like that. But for the most part, for the most part, for the most part, these guys are going to be playing that 1 week break, like you had talked about. What you thinking right here on this bottom half of this Class B bracket? What you see here?
Oak Hill is, had dealt with some injuries, I think, this year, but I think they've kind of, stayed to the top half of this division, come out number 3. They've really tested themselves too. Coach Casey hadn't ran from anybody, so she does a good job of scheduling those girls. After seeing them play and witnessing them playing firsthand, can really play at Oak Hill. And they play as a team and they never give up. So looking at this, Hicks, is it a down? We're used to seeing Hicks in the top half of the bracket, 2, 3, 4. Maybe a down year this year. I hadn't seen them, but sitting at 14, that's kind of unusual for them. I would have to go Oak Hill with that matchup if Hicks or Family Community come out
So,
of there.
so this is some really good information again that people in the comments are bringing to us. So really appreciate that. These teams that are listed here, Anacoco, Fairview, Picken, Hicks, and Elizabeth, all are in that district tournament. So that can really move a lot of teams in this bracket, man. That is something to keep an eye on as that tournament aspires. You can see Hicks could get a win. They could jump up to even a 12 seed if they get an upset. They can get a 12 seed with a bye. You can see Picking or somebody get upset and fall a little bit. You can see Anacoco run through and get secure that seed that we were talking about. So this is some really good information. This is definitely going to be a lot of movement. Probably the most movement of any bracket will be in Class B because of that district there. But yeah, man, I agree, man. This is gonna be fun, man. Seeing that Oak Hill coming out of here, I think Oak Hill has just been tested. What they've built on in their resume over the last few years. I think I think Oak Hill rocks and rolls here. I think it's just gonna be kind of interesting to see who comes out of that bottom half there. Is Picken able to hold on to it? That would definitely be a challenge for them. Pickens has been battle tested as well. Just being in that district is really, really tough that we had talked about that has that district tournament there. So that's going to be interesting to see for sure.
Hey, we got a comment right there. You see that comment? We mentioned Anacoco beating Fairview, but shout out to Pickens beat Anacoco as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They, like you said, they could probably flip flop here. So this division is going to come down to, like we said, who's having a better night that night. The better team will show up that night. And small towns, man, they're gonna pack the gyms out. They're gonna shut everything down. And it's basketball, playoff basketball.
Absolutely. And I mean, if I'm Oak Hill, no disrespect to pick him, I hope they lose in that first round district and somebody else shows up in that 6th seed, man. I mean, you can see, Negrita or somebody else could jump in there. I think Picken reminds me of like Houghton or somebody like that's in y'all's division. I mean, y'all's district where it's just tough, man. Like night in, night out, it's tough. You're getting the experience of that high level basketball, that quarterfinal basketball. Like I can promise you, for that district championship, it's gonna be very similar to that that quarterfinal atmosphere, right? So these kids that and these teams that we're talking about that are in that district tournament, they're gonna be battle tested for sure, man. They're gonna be ready to rock and roll for sure.
Yeah,
It's a great experience.
it gets them ready. It's win or go home. It's what it
Yep.
is in the playoff. It gets them ready for an early run at the playoffs and gets them in that playoff mode that you got to win every game going forward. You know what I mean?
Yep. And we'll jump down to the last spot here at the bottom. Well, we've had a lot of comments about Bell City, man. I love Bell City's game. I think this is definitely a huge opportunity for them. They've done everything they can to put themselves in a spot here. Looks like they're going to have that 2 seed locked up, which is huge news for them. But again, like I would say, man, if Picken falls, the Greek wins, man. Picken at that 7 spot would be a little scary to me. What's your thoughts here, man, on this bottom half of this bracket?
Yeah. Shout out to the Bell City fans in the comments and online with us tonight. Yeah, Bell City coach. I think coach was online. I just saw him there. Coach has done a good job here. Just with the scheduling, he played Zachary, played Midland, 2 heavyweight teams there. He's played Natchez Central. Those are his only 3 losses. So it's kind of like we talk about Vanderbilt Catholic, right? If we're looking at Bell City, then are they undefeated as well in this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
and if you do want to count losses, they haven't lost since December 21st. I don't,
exactly.
I don't even remember. I mean, I can hardly remember what I ate for lunch, much less what the heck was going
And
on
and
December
and,
21st.
and here it is. Bell City hasn't lost since December 21st
Yeah.
to Natchez. So they're on a roll right here. Man, you got to tip your hat all the way. Bell City right here. It kind of once you're looking at their schedule, kind of say, hey, they've battle tested. Are they the favorite in Class B over Fairview?
Okay, you heard it here first.
I didn't say they are. I said,
Oh,
are they?
are they? I got you. I got you. I got you. All right, so I'm gonna put myself on the spot here, man. Class B. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Class B, man, runs through Fairview. All roads run through the black and gold, man. Fairview. In order to get there, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. I think Fairview has set themselves up for a much easier road, which helps out a lot. As you know, you avoid the Pickens and the Anacocos and the Equipments and all those along the way. But you can see a matchup, Fairview versus Anacoco, district matchup in the top 28, the Final Four. That would be really exciting. Um, I do think this class is a lot closer than it has been in the past, where I could arguably see 4 teams, maybe even 5 teams actually winning it and having an opportunity. It's not a runaway 1 team or runaway 2 teams. So it's going to be some really good basketball, some really good quarterfinal games. But the route that Fairview has set themselves up with, I think they're just a leg up above everybody else, and everybody else is trying to play catch up. If we're looking at that Bell City versus Oak Hill game in the semifinals, that would be so much fun, man. That would be a great matchup. And like I said, you could have Fairview versus Anacoco, which is district champs. That could be, district rivals. That could be a heck of a matchup as they would play. What would that be for the 3rd or 4th time this year? I'm trying to see how many times. Yeah. So they've already played once. That would be like their 3rd time playing. That would be really exciting. Who you got, man? Class B.
Man, you said to beat the man, to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? I'll go on record and saying I'm going to lean Bell City here.
Bell City.
I got that. That shout out to our Bell City fans on. They
Okay.
tuned in early this. They tuned in early this week.
Fairview with the disrespect from Coach Kendrick, man. You heard it here first.
No, don't do me like that. Coach Jinx, no, I got much respect, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's all fun and games, man, for sure, man. We're just here having a good time, man. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in and commenting, man. The comments you guys have made already, man, has really made a difference in the show. So please keep the comments up. Keep them rocking and rolling. We're live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Again, if you just joined us, this is projections. If the brackets would have started at 5:30 today, this would be the brackets. The actual brackets do not come out until Monday, so this is all sensitive. This can move and rock and roll a little bit, but it kind of gives you an idea. Division 4, Southern Lab Invitational, man. I saw Southern Lab go on the road to John Curtis and put together the best performance I've seen all year. I haven't seen as much basketball as I have in the past few years, but Southern Lab, I want to give them a shout out, man. Coach Cheney is doing a phenomenal job over there. She does not get enough credit. They go around, they play anybody and everybody. I mean, they've been playing teams in New Orleans. Like, they played John Curtis, Mount Carmel. They lost to Destrehan by 1. Played Vanderbilt Catholic. Like this is 4 of their last 5 games. Like they are just going all over the place to play teams. She's really doing a great job of challenging her team. But the respect that gathers and gains from the team, man. Like, now, granted, it's a little easier when you have 3 elite point guards. I mean, they've got the Foreman, the Potan, and what's the young lady's name that came from White Castle? I forgot her name. But they have 3 elite point guards who can win basketball games at the high school level and can lead a team to a championship on their own. So, in order with having those 3 elite those 3 elite point guards, man, just makes everything a lot easier. But I remember vividly, man, at the John Curtis game, they're up by 7 with about a minute 30 left. Coach calls a play. They try to execute it, don't get it. They pull it back out, execute another play. I know they get into a continuity. They don't get it. Pull it back out and execute a third set play for a layup. It was the best basketball possession I've seen all year. Boys or girls, really, man. Is that gave them that 9-point lead with like just about a minute left, kind of iced the cake. Yeah, shout out to Southern Lab, man. Can anybody in this bracket beat them? I do not know. Cedar Creek could definitely give them a shot. Jess Clark has been there before, but
Shout out
I
to Cedar
think
Creek, man.
I think
Shout out to
Southern
City
Lab is one
Creek.
of the best teams in the state.
They beat Arcadia the other night. Shout out
Yep.
to City Creek. It was a big win for them. Coach putting it real good together. Arcadia's no slouch of a team, and they go. They protect their home court and they beat. So they kind of really are they locked in at the 2 yet? Not yet, not quite yet. J.S. Clark nipping on the heels. So with J.S. Clark having and maybe we're getting the same thing that the B schools got. Looks like maybe a district tournament because it says J.S. Clark's done no more games scheduled. So I don't know if they have a district
Yeah,
tournament
comment
this
below,
weekend.
guys. Let us know if Jess Clark has any more games. I think I saw them cutting the nets down with the district title. Comment anybody below, man. Anybody that's won district, man. We want to give those guys a shout out.
It's kind of like Southern Lab as well because they finished up on the 10th and have nothing else scheduled. I don't know if they have a tournament or not. What's going on there? But if not, that was a lot like I was saying in Class B, man. That's a long layoff but if you're gonna have a first round bye and then your first game is gonna be on the 24th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, well, got to have it played by the 24th, correct?
Yeah. A lot of those guys play a little early, but I mean, it does give you definitely an opportunity to get healthy. In this division, man, like who do you think realistically can compete with Southern Lab that's in that top 4 or 5? Who can compete with them?
Man, I would say Clark and Creek have the best chance to kind of give them some competition. But haven't seen, like you said earlier, shout out to Coach Cheney, man. When she came up north early in the year, she said, "Coach, I'm coming up north. I don't want to play anybody but the best that you got there at the tournament." So that's kind of how they set themselves up for this. So it's kind of theirs to lose here. They don't have to deal. The last 2 years they lose one to Northwood Lena, come back and beat Northwood Lena. They don't have to deal with Lena this year, so it's kind of theirs to lose. I'm going Lab all the way. Coach Cheney gets that 2 in a row.
Yeah, and I think if there's anybody that can beat them, it's going to be the Cedar Creek or J.S. Clark. J.S. Clark's got the guards, they got the forwards. So J.S. Clark is going to match up evenly with Lab. I think Lab, God forgot the end of the day, is a little bit better. But J.S. Clark matches up at the same, right? Especially with having the experience and stuff like that with winning a state title. So that would be a scary matchup, I believe. But what it looks like is Cedar Creek and J.S. Clark is going to have to play each other in the semifinals. And then Lab's just going to be sitting and waiting. Cedar Creek's got the transfers from Benton, so they've got the experience there as well at the high-level basketball, 5A, playing in y'all's district, one of the toughest districts. Avery Ryan, man, that's somebody that's a name that is going to stick out. When it gets to that top 28, who's going to be able to stop Avery Ryan? The kid posts extremely hard like a Division I athlete. She's got the size, the width. She's going to post extremely, extremely hard. They're not going to really rely on a ton of jump shots. J.S. Clark's going to have to hit jumpers. Cedar Creek, you're going to be able to throw it inside, get to the free throw line, create some fouls, stuff like that. That's why I would think Cedar Creek would have a little bit of an advantage. J.S. Clark's obviously got the experience there. Corey is the young lady's name. I want to say Corey. I was thinking of Corey from Destran, so I didn't want to mess that up. But yeah, Corey. Corey does not get enough credit for that lab team, dude. Like Corey is the guy that's going to guard, defend the other team's best player, and then again, like she could lead White Castle to a state title. She could lead a lot of other teams as a leading point guard to a state title, and she'll get her opportunity once Foreman and Potan graduate. She'll be the next guy in line that will arguably lead Southern Lab to another title. But they have three elite point guards, man. Elite point guards. No more games for J.S. Clark. They're finished. So they'll have, like we talked about, that little 2-game break. Where's Hamilton Christian at? That's the team that I want to see. Where are they matched up at? So Hamilton Christian, that's tough, man. I think Cedar Creek's a terrible matchup for them. I think they would have a better chance against J.S. Clark. So you see Hamilton Christian here at the 7. Is there any way Hamilton Christian can jump to that 6 spot? Check that out. See if you can figure that out.
Hamilton Christian is only 0.19 behind Central Catholic. So Hamilton Christian can possibly, with their schedule, no. Unless they have a district tournament, looks like they're done as well.
Last game was canceled. Dang, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, last game in St. Louis canceled. Coach canceled that one out. It probably would have hurt him in the power rankings anyway. What is the, let's see, what does
Central Catholic, I mean,
has won. Does Central Catholic lose to Frederick Douglass? If Central Catholic lose to Frederick Douglass, then Hamilton Christian should be the 6th seed. And then because Frederick Douglass 19-5, can Central Catholic beat them? I haven't seen neither one of the teams, so we'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of the game that I would the team that I would kind of keep an eye on the most. If I'm Cedar Creek or J.S. Clark, I don't want to see Hamilton Christian coming to my gym in the quarterfinals. They are very young. We're probably younger than Reeves, honestly. But they've just got some talent, man. They've got some kids that would definitely play college basketball at the next level. They've got 8th graders. They've got 9th graders. They've got young kids playing basketball. But they've got some really good kids. They've arguably got the best 8th grader in the state. Probably the best 8th grader in the state, hands down. Kind of hard to argue that. But is she going to be ready? It's just not a question I would want to ask in the quarterfinals. I think Cedar Creek's a tougher matchup for Hamilton Christian. Again, Avery Ryan inside. They will just not have the toughness in the matchup for that. J.S. Clark, they match up more size-wise with them. Again, J.S. Clark's got the experience, but Hamilton Christian has also made it there, just not with the same group of kids. They're just very, very young. Let's see. Who's that?
Say, we're not.
Who's that? What team is that?
I don't know who that is. They say you said they're not talented enough, man. So we gonna see. They gotta put a name on that so we'll know what team they're talking about.
I don't think I would say anybody's not talented enough. We'll jump into it, man. Again, Southern Lab Invitational, man. But I like Cedar Creek if they can make it to the Final Four. Cedar Creek is going to struggle to get to the championship, I think. But if they do get to the championship, I think that's the worst matchup for Southern Lab. I think J.S. Clark, again, guards win games, man, at the end of the day. And I think J.S. Clark, Southern Lab's got the better guards at the end of the day.
Yeah, but when it comes down to that 2-headed monster, those 3-headed monster, Corey, Patnay, and Foreman, man, it's just, they're really good. And it's going to be anybody in that district is going to have to strap on their boots, hard head, and go to work that night because they're going to have a tough time guarding those guards.
Hey, we never said nothing about Oakdale. That was like 3 years ago, man. We've grown our relationship with Oakdale since then. Shout out to Oakdale, man. Oakdale is one of the Oakdale Arcadia, man. I love their fan base like that, man. Make this a lot of fun. Just to spend a Wednesday night like this, man. So shout out to those guys. Division 4, man. Speaking of Arcadia here, you talked about it, man. Cedar Creek got Arcadia in that district championship. Makes this a lot closer now. Arcadia and Lakeview is 0.05 away from each other. Will that hold true? Will Lakeview jump up there? But again, it's kind of the same concept, the 5-man matchup, 4-man matchup in this division. Arcadia, what's your thoughts, man? I think, again, whoever gets the 1 seed, you just had such a bigger advantage, man, with playing the 8 or the 7.
It's kind of tricky. I think Coach Fuller and Coach Curry is gonna have to get the pencil out and do games played divided by games. I mean, games won divided by games played times 34 because Arcadia plays Lincoln Prep a district game, so they gotta play it. Lincoln Prep is 2-17. That's gonna kill their PowerPoint ranking, right?
Wow.
And so Lakeview, on the other hand, has I just saw it. I'm sorry. Lakeview, on the other hand, has St. Mary's, who's also a district opponent, but only 7-21.
Oh wow,
So
that's gonna come down to
if
the
if
wire.
if if you're looking at it, it's gonna come down to the tenths of point, but I think just knowing the math, I think Lakeview would have the better PowerPoint percentage out
We're
of that.
squeaking, yeah, we're squeaking a little bit. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's gonna squeak
So
out
you,
of
you
it
you
because
could see Lakeview in this top bracket here again. I think whoever is at that top end with the top four, you're just gonna rock and roll, man. So that gets us into that 4 or 5 matchup, man. Midland lost LCA in an overtime game at Midland. So that's got to be some confidence as well, man. A little confidence booster that you can compete with a team that's won, 4, 5, 6 titles in a row. They've got Lake Arthur coming up there as well. No, that's I'm sorry, that is not Midland. That was LCA that has Lake Arthur. Midland has Lagrange and Lafayette Renaissance. Again, two more games left. One not as tough, but Lagrange game is going to be another battle tested. Um, who do you see here in this 4 or 5 matchup that we're looking at? We've been talking about it, man. Midland and Maryville. What are your thoughts there on that bracket?
man, I like the bigs, the two bigs from Midland. When I saw them with my own eyes, that they're really good. Can Maryville match that? You know what I mean? Anytime you got two good bigs and got guards, you're gonna be hard to beat. You know what I mean? As we always say, guards win games, but it don't hurt to have two bigs as well. You know what I mean? So if we came down to that matchup, which would probably be a good matchup in the quarters if they and we talk about Midland and Maryville, but no disrespect to Tensa and West St. Mary and Jonesboro and all those, but if we're just foreshadowing, right?
Yep.
It's just I would take Midland in that matchup if that was the matchup.
Yeah, and again, like somebody had talked about, Oberlin has a shooter's chance. There's a lot of teams in this bracket that rely on the jumper. Or this game can go either way. When you say a shooter's chance, if you're going to shoot 13, 14, 15 threes, there's going to be opportunity. There's going to be some nights where you make one, and there's going to be some nights where you make 7 or 8. Right? You're going to get hot, and whenever you get hot, you can upset teams. You can upset teams on the road. This is like shooter's paradise here. We got Maryville who can fill it up. Oberlin can fill it up. White Castle. Those 3 teams rely on the jumper. Um, White Castle and Oberlin really rely on the 3 ball, man. So I could see those teams, winning upsets. I can also see those teams getting upset as well. I like White Castle. I think they definitely have a shooter's chance to win this division as a whole. Uh, Arcadia and Lakeview just have the size, so I think the size is going to be the difference in this bracket here. Midland versus Maryville. Again, speaking of size, I think Midland has put in the work over the last, 4 or
Couple years,
5
yeah.
years, man. Not only in the playoffs and the brackets, but in the summer. These kids are giving up their summers and they're playing, 10, 20 high school games and they're playing 20 AAU games. So they're playing 40 something games over the summer, if not more than that, between summer league and all that good stuff. I think Midland has traveled the world to prepare for this opportunity here. Just to give
And,
their kids a chance at the Final Four and another opportunity at a state championship. So I see them rocking and rolling here.
yes, most definitely, man. I always see when I first saw Midland down at the thing down at Southern, man, and you see them and you look at them and you're like, they've always grinded for the last 2 years I've seen them, and they're always in the thick of that thing when we're down there in that bracket play, man. So you got to shout out to them. They grind and they put themselves in a prime position to make a run here. That's gonna be key because if they're the 4 seed, You just talked about its size. They can make it to Arcadia if Arcadia is the one. That's gonna be tricky because I love Arcadia, love Coach Curry, but the one thing they lack a little is size.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and this is some great comments right here, man. The little sister of Cormier there with she's just growing up scoring the basketball, man. Like he said, she can score 40 at any time, man. So you got her. There's a lot of talent in this division. Arcadia's got Division One athletes. Lakeview's got their D1. They got 2 kids that will play college basketball. White Castle's got 2 or 3 kids that will play college basketball. Midland's got 2 or 3 kids that will play college basketball. All these teams have young ladies that would for sure play college basketball. Some of them will sneak into D1 and but let's just shout out, man. Shout out to this division, man. It is not, a huge division in terms of size, but they've got some talent, man. A lot of talent here. Got some people over there with Maryville, man. Shout out to them. They definitely have a puncher's chance with, somebody can score the basketball. Did we get through the whole deal there? Yeah. Shout out to White Castle. Somebody talked about their schedule. They were definitely challenging themselves. Lakeview and Oberlin, again, that shooter's chance, man. Lakeview runs some zone there. Can Oberlin get hot? Can they handle the pressure of Timberland Washington applying pressure if they come out and defend a little bit more? Probably not. But if they can get open for a couple threes, you could definitely see an upset there. Lake Arthur's young. It's going to take them some time. Yeah, it's going to be some interesting matchups for sure. And then, like we talked about, could see Lakeview and Arcadia flip-flop there for sure. Let's get into the next division. Division 3 select. Go ahead, man. Lead us off here, man. What you got?
LCA Invitational, man. And we say that, and then somebody will come up. The crystal ball is going to be rolling within the next week and a half, right? And people will kind of have that thing, trying to break that thing, right? LCA here, man, all the way. Unless you see somebody here that can compete with Taylor and company in this Coach Roger, LCA, man, all the way here.
Yeah, I agree. Again, LCA has just done their due diligence to get that 1 seed, and I don't see any 1 seeds, to my knowledge, not making it to the Final Four. Like whenever you make it, whenever you do what you got to do to get that 1 seed, you're playing against the 8 seed. You're not going to really see too many upsets. But then we jump into this 4-5 matchup, man. We talked about it with Coach Mike, man. De La Salle, Dunham. That game might or should be at De La Salle. Looks like. What's your thoughts there, man? You got Holy Savior Menard, again, a team that has some experience. They got a big kid on the inside. What's your thoughts there?
Man, I haven't seen De La Salle, but I know Coach Mike's a good coach, and he does a great job over there with those girls. And to be having a 4 seed, that means they've really done a good job this year. Holy Savior Menard, saw them early this year. Will they be good enough to get up there and contest with a number 5 Durham, Durham and or De La Salle? I'm not quite sure they're ready yet for that. So I would go 4-5 here, a chalk here.
Yep.
And seeing those two compete in the quarterfinals.
And I mean, I think Dunham used to be in that bracket. I mean, that could be mistaken, but I think they used to be in that division, that district with Parkview Baptist and Madison Prep and U High.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong. I just looked; they're not in that division, so I thought maybe like their strength of schedule will be ready a little closer. But I mean, I think he's got to lean towards De La Salle again. Like I talked about, man, a lot of people are not going to realize that game at De La Salle is going to be probably had to be moved up. That's whenever Mardi Gras starts rocking and rolling. It's going to be very difficult to get kids to stay and attend games like that. So that's a little sneaky tidbits that you do have to kind of keep an eye on if you're traveling. New Orleans basketball is down right now, so there's not a ton of home games at those areas. But our Sacred Heart, New Orleans, De La Salle would definitely be 2 games that would be home games. Will those other teams travel? You could see some upsets. That's all I'm going to kind of say with that. But we'll jump into the next one. Rose Pine. We've been big fans of Rose Pine. They can definitely go. St. Thomas Aquinas, man, their style of play. Coach Aaron Donez does a fantastic job over there. Do not put it past St. Thomas Aquinas to find a way to get that win. North Lake Christian's just kind of sitting there and waiting. I could see St. Thomas Aquinas coming in there. So they're in the same district. St. Thomas Aquinas has already beat North Lake Christian once. You could see a double-digit team make it here. I could see St. Thomas Aquinas being that 11 seed, defeating North Lake Christian, then going to Rose Pine, being in a dogfight there. This is one of those brackets, one of those divisions where you could see a double-digit team seed.
And the interesting part is, if I'm not mistaken, right, St. Thomas Aquinas, if they can win here both first two games, only road game they would have is Rose Pine, because then they come right back to Hammond, correct?
Yep, they
Am I
are
correct?
literally two. They're literally 2 blocks
Two
from
blocks
from
away.
from him. Yeah.
So it's like, the only road game they would have is Rose Pine, and they could possibly have a home. They'll probably pack that Hammond thing out if they can get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They'll
I
just
mean,
put it on.
and if I'm being honest, if I'm Rose Pine, that's not somebody I want to see at that 11 seed. I would want to see them, jump to the 10 or the 12 seed or somewhere around there. St. Thomas Aquinas is a team that I would go ahead and put on watch for everybody. That could be a double-digit seed that could make a run here. A-Meat's also another team, man, that could make a run here. A-Meat, St. Thomas Aquinas, two teams that have made it to the Final Four, two teams that are very close to the Final Four, like you talked about as far as traveling distance. A-Meat, man, get on a roll here. Their style of play, no disrespect to Sacred Heart New Orleans, but A-Meat's been here, done that, got that T-shirt. A-Meat will travel. 1,000%. There will be more A-Meat fans at Sacred Heart than there are Sacred Heart fans. I don't care what you want to put on it. I'll wager anything. 1,000%. There will be more A-Meat fans, especially if that is around a Mardi Gras. There will be more A-Meat fans in purple and gold than there will be in the red and
And
gray of Sacred Heart. They're
trust,
gonna have to do
trust.
anything and everything they can to get people at that game, man. And A-Meat, if they win, that's a scary team. A-Meat's a scary team. St. Thomas Aquinas is a scary team. They both have great avenues to find a
Well,
way.
I could tell you, if it stays like that, and I don't want to be the villain around town here, but if it stays 7-10 like that, shout out to coach over at Calvary, but I got to go meet there. The athletes that they'll have to come up to Calvary Baptist, Calvary's, kind of put it on everybody's mind this year. Surprised everybody, being top 17, you know what I mean? But if you're looking at just matchups and the type of team A-Meat has always been, I haven't seen them this year. Are they that same team?
Yeah.
If they're that same type of caliber team, Calvary Baptist gonna have a hard time standing in front of those guards. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. But it's cute that you say that, because A-Meat plays. It could flip, because A-Meat plays Bogalusa tomorrow, 2-12 district play. Right? They're only half a point in front of who we're just saying. Sorry, half a point. Who's that half a point from? Right behind them. We were just talking about. I'm
St.
sorry.
Thomas Aquinas.
St. Thomas Aquinas. I apologize. St. Thomas Aquinas goes to or has French Settlement, who's 22-9. So if can St. Thomas Aquinas beat French Settlement? If they do, and A-Meat plays the 2-12 team, we can see that easily flip. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go on record and say whoever is this 10 seed will have a great shot at making
Yeah.
the Final Four. Whoever it is, whether it's A-Meat, St. Thomas Aquinas, Menard, Episcopal, whoever is at that 10 seed will have a great shot. And again, A-Meat and St. Thomas Aquinas is going to travel a little bit better than some of those other guys. Shout out to Coach Jake here, talking about A-Meat's playing really good right now. Lost in overtime last night to Albany. I wouldn't be shocked, man, to see a double-digit team win and make it to the Final Four here. And I think you're going to have it go through this side of the bracket here. Great feedback, guys. Again, appreciate everybody for locking in with us, man. We're going to jump on to Division III non-select, the Oakdale Invitational. Oakdale Invitational, man. The most talented team in this division. You heard it here first. What you got, man? What you see here, man? Is there any way Bill Platt or somebody else? Again, whenever you're looking at these brackets, the team that's done their due diligence and put in the work, man, the one seed is just has a way easier road.
Yeah, she's done a good job. Coach Edwards has done a good job, and you know, I remember a couple years ago, I think I was the villain with Oakdale, right? They had a bounty out on my head looking for me there, right? And so they've done a good job, man, of playing. She's one of those coaches that don't duck smoke either. You know what I mean? She prepares a team, and I think that's what it's all about. When those early games are going on, and you may lose one here or there, and people saying, "What's going on?" Well, you're battle testing your kids to be prepared for this moment right now. And sitting at the number one seed, Oak Grove, Caroline Bradley. When we talk about Gatorade Player of the Year, right? I think you said it. Whoever wins that has to be a champion this year, right? Her, Dakota Howard, Ariana Patterson at Walker. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
Foreman, Southern Lab. Yep,
Yeah, forming at Southern Lab. So who is it?
Mooney
She's
at
got
shout out to Waxman too, man. Like there's some kids that you gotta show out, man. That's definitely something that we gotta keep an eye on here. Is Oak Grove. Caroline's got to at least get there to have an opportunity.
Well, she's got a good chance now. She's sitting at 2.
Yep.
I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but
Shout out to Oakdale, man. Oakdale was 16-1 in their last 17 games. Like it's again like it's what Coach Renata's done over there, man. A shout out to her, man. I saw her grow up and play at the college level as well at LSUE Northwestern, man. Like she's a fiery competitor, and she instills that in her young ladies. She's got the fan base riled up, rocking and rolling, man. It's just a well-oiled machine over there. To go into the O, as they say, and get a win, not happening, man. We'll see Oakdale again at the top 28. No disrespect to the guys that are in this bracket, but you're going to be down 10, 15 points before the referee even throws the ball up, and you're not going to be able to catch up to this team. They've got the young ladies that they've got the most experience in this division. It's not even close compared to who else is in the area. So I think at this point, everyone's trying to catch Oakdale. Oakdale is the Wasserman of this division. Oakdale's been there, done that, got that T-shirt. Everyone else that whenever you're looking down the list is trying to be like Oakdale. They're trying to get the same feel in the same environment. So yeah, Oakdale rocks and rolls there, man. Then we got the 4-5 matchup, Pine versus French Settlement. Again, this can kind of flip flop. Doyle's rocking and rolling, man. Pine was out to a hot start. They've since kind of cooled off a little bit. We talked about it last time. Can French Settlement avoid Westlake at all costs? So Westlake has since fallen a little bit. They're now 2 full points behind Pine. So it looks like they're going to be able to avoid that matchup. That's just kind of been their Achilles heel. So I think French Settlement, with that being said, loves the matchup that they got here. They got a big time game coming up. They have St. Thomas Aquinas. We talked about that earlier. So that'll be a fun one for sure. But I think we'll see French Settlement rock and roll finally punch their ticket, like we had been talking about for really 2 years now. With no seniors, it's great and all, but your juniors become seniors, your sophomores become juniors, and your freshmen become sophomores really fast. Your window closes extremely quickly. Unless you're Oakdale, you just keep throwing in the pipeline, you just keep rocking and rolling. You only got so many shots at this. So French Settlement's got to take advantage of that. They've got to punch their ticket to the Final Four, and then who knows what can happen from there. What's your thoughts, man, on this little bracket here? You see French Settlement, Pine, what do you think?
I like French, but I hadn't saw Pine. Have you saw them this year? I don't.
I have not. My buddy coaches over there. Again, they were rolling, man. They scheduled extremely well. They did lose to Doyle, like we talked about earlier, about 20. They're going to finish off. They got Hammond and Albany. So they have Albany on Saturday. So that'll be a good game for sure. That'll be a good game.
I got you. Shout out to Mansfield, Coach Kendra Neal, man. Once again, that's one team we don't talk about. But she always has a team in the thick of things here. They're ranked number 9 right now. 8, 9 would have to play Oakdale in that third round, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them, man. District champs again. Kendra Neal just finds a way every year to get it done. You know what I mean? So shout out to Mansfield and Coach Neal. It's going to be a tough challenge for them to have to face Oakdale, like you said. But I think she'll have them well prepared and give a good shot and give them a good swing at it.
And there's a great information here. So as of this morning, LHSA. So again, these are GoPrep.com's unofficial results as of 5:30 this afternoon. This is all projection based. A real bracket will come out on Monday. So coach is saying here that as of this morning, French Settlement at 3, and then Doyle at 4. So that could flip flop either way. If I'm French Settlement, I really don't want that. If I'm being honest, man, I would much rather play Pine than play Westlake. A team that's kind of bumped us out the last couple of years. No disrespect to Pine, but Westlake's got two young ladies that can rock and roll. One of the twins is definitely has the ability to play at the college level. And when we talk about guards win games, Westlake's just going to have some better guards night in, night out. If I'm French Settlement, I don't want to see that. Whatever I got to do to avoid Westlake, I'm here for it. Whether it's I play Pine or Kinder or whoever else is in that area. If I'm French Settlement, I want that 4-5 matchup. Like the 3-6. I think Doyle is a tougher matchup for Westlake. Going into Westlake traveling all the way to Doyle, I think that's a tougher matchup. Doyle's playing some really good basketball. They've got, the senior leadership. They've got the young presence as well. They got a little bit of everything there. And again, they're just playing some really good basketball. Having only lost one game since December 14th, right? So they're again another team that's 1-15 in their last 16 games. They're just playing some really good basketball. Defeated Albany, defeated AB. They've already defeated Pine, like we talked about, by 20. They defeated French Settlement in overtime. So definitely some interesting matchups to see, a Doyle and French Settlement in that top 28. If they do both make it, that'll be really exciting. Can anybody match up with Caroline Bradley from Oak Grove? Yes, no, kind of so. Doyle is a physical team. They've got kids that played a lot of different sports, right? I think Doyle is probably the toughest matchup for Oak Grove because they're going to play up and down, fast, go, 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 and then they've just got kids that just are playing basketball for fun because softball season's not here yet. But you look up and you leave them open, they're gonna knock down the 3 ball. You leave them open, they're gonna box you out, hit you in the mouth. Like it's gonna be a physical style game. If I'm Oak Grove, I want to avoid Doyle. I want to play French Settlement. I really don't want to play Oakdale, but in order to win this division, you have to beat Oakdale. So if I'm Oak Grove, I would really want to play anybody but Doyle. I think Doyle's a tough matchup for them. Anybody else in the comments, man? Let us know what you guys think. What do you see there at the bottom bracket, man? Oak Grove rocket rolling there. Anything else?
I don't think anybody, Caroline Brothers going to be a tough matchup for anybody. So best college prospect probably in the state or in the nation, probably, huh?
Yes, sir. Number 1 post player in the world for 2027. Yeah, she'll be a McDonald's All-American if she stays healthy. So she'll be our next McDonald's All-American. Those do not grow on trees around here. That is few and far between, man. So shout out to Caroline Bradley getting this team up here. I'm excited to have her showcase her skill set. She wasn't there last year. She was there the year before. Man, her skill set and what she's done, she's grown. She continues to grow. She's got all the right pieces. Got the great family support staff. Got the everything she needs, man. She'll be playing for Team USA, winning gold medals. She'll be the McDonald's All-American. She'll be future Gatorade Player of the Year, if not this year, years down the road. Can she, like Michaela Williams, punch that ticket to get into that, state championship hunt, right? Like you got to win a state title. Man, this is a fun division.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Kentrell Davis there, man. Childhood friend there, man, from back in the big city of Coshada, Red River.
There you go. Division 2 select, man. This was fun, man. You got U-High Lab, Parkview Baptist, and Madison Prep all in the same district, man. All in the same district. They're 8 of the top 3 teams. Madison Prep is falling a little bit here. What you see here, man? U-High in this bracket here. You got U-High Madison Prep in the quarterfinals. That is terrible news if I'm U-High. That is not who you want to see at the 8 seed, man. What's your thoughts here?
Man, we keep saying it every time. Coach Haynes, he finds his way to the quarterfinals and somehow gets to Hammond every year. They just continue to do it. That program they built at Madison Prep. You know what I mean? So like you said, that's going to be a tough matchup. 1-8 in that quarterfinals for U High. Um, well, that's going to be tough.
Is
It's
that
going to
is
be a
that
tough.
the toughest 1-8 matchup like in the state
I'm
regardless
not
of
sure on
classification?
that. I just you got to see what else is out there. Could potentially be. It could potentially be. Can you is U High ready for that type of talent? Ready for that type of matchup and that big stage? Are they
But
ready for that?
again, let's go through Madison Prep's losses. They have 12 losses. You stop me whenever a loss actually is a bad loss. I guess I can say Vanderbilt Catholic Final Four team, Edna Carr Final Four team, Zachary, Huntington, Fairview, Woodlawn, Southern Lab, Doyle, Neville, Lafayette, J.S. Clark. Lafayette might be the only team that's not a favorite to make the Final Four, and then White Castle. Every team that we talked about that they've lost to in those 12 losses has been a team that is in the freaking Final Four. And U High and Madison Prep have already played, and Madison Prep defeated them 60-50. Man, that is tough, 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 tough bracket. Tough, tough draw there. If I'm U High, I am absolutely
If
sick.
I'm if I'm U High, I'm praying that the math works out somewhere that Madison Prep can move.
Man,
And
I'm like, how in the world is Madison Prep an 8 seed? I do everything I can to be the 1 seed. And you tell me I got to play Madison Prep at my place in the quarterfinals? That just seems crazy disrespectful, man. I hate that for you, High. But we've been talking about it for the last 3 weeks. The key to this division select is, can you avoid Madison Prep, whoever it is? Can you avoid Madison Prep? And right now, you High cannot.
yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Um,
It's gonna be tough for them with the math in front of them. It's gonna be tough because Frederick Douglass. They got Franklinton, and then they have Central Catholic. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. And we'll see.
So imagine Prep jumps up. Let's go to that one.
Yeah, it's a possibility that Madison Prep can actually jump up.
All right. So
Um, they
If Madison Prep jumps up to 7, then they're playing at Vanderbilt Catholic again. The game of avoid Madison Prep is going to be very interesting to come down the line here.
yeah, so this is a tough bracket, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to White Castle, man. Again, White Castle can freaking shoot it, dude. White Castle beat Madison Prep last night by 10 points.
Wow.
Yep. So, looking at this bracket a little bit here, Edie White, Booker T. Washington. If I'm Edie White, I love that draw there. Having Booker T. Washington avoiding Madison Prep. Somehow Madison Prep falls down into that 8 area, 7 area. I'm 4 and 5. Booker T. and Edie White. I'm licking my chops, man. This is best case scenario. This is going to be one of the best opportunities that my program is going to have in a long time. Booker T. Washington won a state title. I believe it was about 5-6 years ago. Edie White's been in that mix around again 5-6 years ago. Now they have an opportunity again. I think both these teams would be extremely excited if this is what the bracket came out today. If they could play Booker T. Washington, could play Edie White at their place, they would love it. If Edie White could have Booker T. Washington at their place, they would love it. I think this game could go either way, really, man. Again, quarterfinal game. Booker T. Washington, you got Mardi Gras going on again, man. I hate to keep going back to that. It's very under talked about, I guess is the easiest way to put it, for lack of a better words. But to have Booker T. Washington go on the road, nobody's going to leave Mardi Gras parades and stuff to go to Thibodaux, Louisiana to watch a game in the quarterfinals. Edie White's going to pack that place. They're going to be fired up. I think Edie White has a huge opportunity to punch their ticket to the Final Four. And after that, man, they're a younger team, get that experience and stuff like that. With Amani over there, man, Amani's doing a great job leading that team. She'll be leading that team for the next 4 years as well. Shout out to Coach Nick and what he's done, what he's built over there. He scheduled this team just hard enough games to get to where they're at. Are they battle tested? I don't know, man. Maybe not battle tested for Madison Prep, but I think them and Booker T have a similar schedule. So to have a home game, all you can do is look back at this and smile, man. I think Edie White gets through here. You want to comment anything on that one, or jump into the next one?
This next one, I have, learned my lesson. Never pick against Parkview Baptist, right? Never pick against Parkview Baptist, man. So, Parkview Baptist number 3, all the way to Hammond, baby. They're gonna steamroll to Hammond. They're gonna
Steamroll, baby.
steamroll.
Steamroll to Hammond, man.
They're gonna
Absolutely.
steamroll to Hammond.
I mean, Hannon is again another team that's very similar to Midland, right? Where they played a lot of games over the summer, built that program out. But also you got Peabody there, man. Peabody's been doing the same thing. That's not something that I really like to see there. If I am Hannon, Peabody, who comes out of that bottom side. Those are teams that going to have the experience to compete with Parkview. Parkview Baptist, I think, again, just that district alone, man, has really challenged them and prepared them for where they're at. Girls basketball in Baton Rouge is rocking and rolling, and it's a big reason because of Parkview. And again, what they've done, man, they're a young team. They're just reloading. That team, that program nearly did not have a program. I believe it was like 4 or 5 years ago. So to see them, play for state titles, win state titles, and to again put themselves in another opportunity to compete at Southeastern is freaking phenomenal, man. It's just a testament to them, their coaching staff, their fan base, their families, everybody that's really bought into Parkview Baptist basketball. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Parkview Baptist is going to be rocking and rolling. They'll bring it to the next level again. If Madison Prep jumps into the 7th seed, this is scary. If I'm Vanderbilt Catholic, Strimmer's got a young lady that can fill it up. They could go on the road to Leesville and win that game there. I could see Struma, making a run here, winning a game or two. Would not be surprised, especially if Frederick Douglass stays there. A little softer schedule there, but Madison Prep, man, is what I'm looking at if I'm Vanderbilt Catholic. Does Vanderbilt Catholic want that game? They might want that game. The team that they were supposed to play and all that stuff that went down, to have Madison Prep come to my place at the quarterfinals, hey, they might be seeking that out. That might be something that they're looking forward to. But nonetheless, if the schedule stays like this, Vanderbilt Catholic is going to rock and roll, man. Vanderbilt Catholic is my favorite to win this division, as it is now, especially with Michaela Charles coming back. So if you don't know, now you know. Michaela Charles is back in action. Be ready to rock and roll.
Breaking news. Michaela Charles is
She'll,
back.
she'll be ready to rock and roll come playoff time. Whenever we're ready for Southeastern, she'll be ready to rock and roll.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. That's a good get back for Vanderbilt Catholic. When them and Madison played earlier, what was the score? That was the first game of the year. Vandy won. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool, man. That'll be a fun for sure. Yeah, getting that rematch there. Again, guys, comment below, man. We're jumping into it. Division 2. We're going to reverse order this week. This is all projections as of 5:30 today if the brackets were released. We got 3 brackets left, man. Now we're into the Wasserman Invitational, man. Before we get into it, man, I want to give a shout out to North Vermilion. I feel like we have been just kind of blowing over them, man. And despite their record, man, coach is doing a great job over there. 24-2. Anytime you're 24-2, I don't care who you're playing. To win 24 games and only lose 2 is impressive. Their only losses to Barb and to Oberlin, 2 teams that we're going to talk about. They're kind of in that top 8 there. They do have a big win recently over St. Thomas More. Beat Turlins Catholic. They've got Rain up next on Friday for the district title there. That'll be a game that can kind of hold them into this spot. If they do happen to lose that, they will get passed up by Iway. But nonetheless, man, North Vermilion, man, doing a great job of being where they're at, man, 24-2. Wasserman Invitational, we talked about it already, man. No disrespect to Wasserman. I don't know if we'll talk too much about them in this broadcast here, as we will definitely be talking about them for next month to come. But you got Lagrange there, sitting there. Can they go on the road and beat at Opelousas? Could Lagrange, maybe punch his chance at Wasserman? What's your thoughts there, man? Bastrop, has got some experience as well. What's your thoughts,
Well,
man?
Coach Lakeem, is a good coach, and that could easily flip, and it could be hosted at Lagrange because they're separated just by tenths of a point there. So, depending on what both of them has left on their schedule, man, you know what I mean. So, I think, in everybody that I can think of was probably trying to avoid 16, 17, 9, 24, 8, and 25. You know what I mean? I've been trying to avoid that. And so, like we've been saying here, and I think everybody across the state knows how tough Wiseman is and what they've built in that program. So, like you said, we don't talk enough about them because we kind of overlook it, not overlooking them, but we assume everybody knows what Wiseman is. You know what I mean? So when we say the Wiseman and Tavis, that good. So, teams here in this bracket here, get your best game plan together and try to see what you can slow down. You know what I mean, and try to maintain and see if you can catch them on a bad night. That's what I advise. I would advise.
I'll just say go to church on Sunday and hope the brackets change on Monday. And that'll probably be your best chance of Washman right there. But we'll jump into a 4-5 matchup here: Sterlington versus Abbeville. Man, we went out on the record and said Sterlington's not going to make it. Iowa's not going to make it. South Bow and Albany both make it over them. But if there was a happen right now, we'd have Sterlington and Abbeville. They would not even match up right there. So kind of something to kind of keep an eye on there. Iota's playing some really good basketball. They could come up with a little upset there. I would not be surprised if you have an Iota, Bruley,
Wow.
those type of teams that have been known to play really good style basketball in the playoffs. Could upset some games there, right there, man. You could have some double-digit teams fighting for opportunities here. I like Sterlington a lot. Like I talked about, if they can avoid Albany and South Bow, I think Sterlington will have a better opportunity. I think they're the better team in this bracket here. I think Sterlington, if the bracket were released today, they would rock and roll. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, like you said, man, you could easily see upsets here. It's kind of not like it's locked. I think Sterlington maybe getting a girl back from an injury. I think I heard Nuggets dropped. I'm not sure. So, you just have to keep your eye open on this portion of the bracket. You could easily see Brusley. Coach always tells me every year, man, we're down, and then he ends up in the quarterfinals, right? So, they have a good kid, and she's the only senior I think they have. I can't think of her name on their team, and she's a go-getter with
Yeah.
Brusley. This one's going to be wide open. This part of the bracket is going to be wide open on who gets that matchup with Wiseman and semis.
Yeah, and this is some good information too. West Feliciana is playing some good basketball. Bruley did defeat them in district by 14, 15 points like that. So they're probably a little bit better there. But again, West Feliciana gets that. West Feliciana versus Iota is a little sneaky matchup there. If that were to match up, that would kind of be a really good game. And I think whoever wins that game could sneak up and find an upset. It's a tough draw there for Abbeville. But I think Sterlington, nonetheless, will kind of rock and roll here. We'll jump into the next one. Again, this is a bracket here that could change a lot. There's a lot of teams that are fairly close to each other. What you see here, man, Iowa, South Bow is what we talked about. South Bow, you heard it here first, goes into Iowa, defeats them in the quarterfinals. Iowa's not quite ready. South Bow finds a way to get the win. But what's your thoughts, man?
Man, listen, I'm not like you say sure, like you said, because they're so close. 2, 3, and 4 just so close together right now that we could wake up in the morning or we could wake up and it's flipped again after Friday. You know what I mean? Depending on what they all do. North Vermilion has rain. I don't know who Iowa have, but and I don't know who Sterlington has on Friday. Sterlington has Carroll 14 and 14. So
Iowa
you know,
has units 5 and 22.
yeah, so there you go. So Sterlington can possibly jump Iowa for 3, and Iowa fall back to 4. So
Yep.
so you see what I'm saying? So it can have some different matchup, and like you were just saying, Iowa could possibly get upset if their other 3 get upset by South Bow. Well, then it's Sterlington. The South Bow upset Sterlington. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
this is going to be wide open. It's just one we have to keep our eye on. It's basically a race to see who gets to play, Wiseman in the quarter and Wiseman in the championship.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking at Abbeville. Abbeville's on a 14-game win streak, man. Shout out to them, man. Not as tough of a schedule. But again, whenever you're winning 14 games in a row, man, that's just not easy to do. Them North Vermilion. I think you got the South Bows and your Albany's a little bit more battle tested. Iowa is more battle tested as well. Sterlington definitely does have two bigs, definitely some shooters around him, man. Evie's a phenomenal big man. She's Evie West, one of the best freshmen in the states. Um, in my opinion, she'll be a Division One post player forward. I would love to see Sterlington and Iowa punch their ticket into the Final Four because I think they have the most talent as far as getting to the next level talent college basketball players. But again, we talked about tradition never graduates. Tradition never graduates at Albany. It's not graduating at South Bow either. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. I think for some reason or not, I think these teams that we're talking about are going to have to go through Albany. They're going to have to go through South Bow. Somebody's going to have to knock out South Bow. Somebody's going to have to knock out Albany to punch their ticket. Again, we get down to the bottom half of the bracket. Albany at North Vermilion. I think that's a great matchup for Albany, man. Albany would, again, North Vermilion, kind of the new kids on the block, doesn't have as much tradition. I think Albany takes over that crowd. I think Albany would have more fans at that game than North Vermilion. I think Albany would have more fans at a lot of these games, South Bow as well. These guys are going to travel. So if you're playing against Albany and South Bow, you got to do your due diligence. You got to hype up the fan base. You got to hype up the crowd, the school. You got to have everybody, all hands on deck, because whenever Albany and South Bow come on the road to your place with an opportunity to punch their ticket to Southeastern, you better believe they're going to show up. And if you don't show up, your home game can turn into a road game really, really quickly. And I think we can see that here. If the bracket were released today, I think North Vermilion would hate this draw. I think Albany would love it. I would even see Albany punch their ticket to the Final Four here with an upset. Getting no disrespect to North Vermilion, man, they've done a fantastic job. To have a 2 next to their name is phenomenal, man. But in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. You got anything else in Division 2?
Nah, let's swing through Division One select before we go to Division One non-select.
You got it, man. John Curtis and company.
Yeah, John Curtis and company.
All right, man. Who you got, man? John Curtis,
Well,
Ash. That's a little bit closer matchup than what we've seen there, that 1-8 spot. What's your thoughts here?
yeah, well, if you go the John Curtis Ash, um, yeah, don't sleep on Captain Shreve, man. Don't sleep on Captain Shreve. I can tell you that they're young, but they're hungry. They're athletic. They get up and down. They run. Don't sleep on my boy Marcus either. Kamara Ifit. Have John Curtis doesn't have money back yet, right? Correct.
Amani has been at the games and warming up before the
Okay,
games with the jersey on. So she's taking steps in the right direction. I also believe she'll be ready to go. I believe we will see her and Michaela Charles both on the court at Southeastern.
gotcha. So Captain Shreve at that 9 could probably give somebody fits in here. You know what I mean? That'll be a good 8-9 matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Shreve and Ash at Ash. Woo, that's a tough place to play. In that type of environment, you're young. Shreve may not be ready. I don't want to give them bulletin board material because we got them Friday. So they'll have my face all over old King Highway over there. But I'm just talking about their matchup. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
Coach Green will have them ready. Coach Jimmy will have Ash ready. That's gonna be a good key. And still this here, Alexandria still has. I think he told me he had
Yeah, so why are
no
you looking
Denver.
that up, man? Like 8 through 12 in this
Yeah,
this
can all
division is
with
all separated by 1 point, less than 1 point. So 8, 9,
right.
10, 11, and 12. You have 5 teams that are separated by 1 point. So there could be a lot of jostling around. But I do agree with you, man, that 8-9 matchup in this division, like we talked about, is so loaded with great coaches that you're going to have so many good games. Like the top 12 get a bye, so you always have a bunch of byes there. But it's gonna be so many second round really good games. 8 versus 9, of course, right here would be a great game. I think 8 versus 9 is gonna be a great game no matter who ends up falling in there. Gonna have some great players. Great, like a lot of kids that are gonna be playing college basketball from this division. A lot of great coaches who have won state titles, who have won 500 plus games. Like you've got some guys that have really done what they need to do year in, year out in this division, man. There's going to be really no easy outs all the way through here. You could see some upsets all the way through. Obviously, I think John Curtis, Carr, Woodlawn, Huntington are above everybody, top four. But I think you could see some double-digit teams sneaking into that quarterfinals. Shout out to Edna Carr, man. Edna Carr went to Walker and defeated them pretty handily as well, man. So shout out to Edna Carr. Edna Carr's playing some good basketball. You know, you're led by Cass Antoine there, one of the best guards in her classification. And then you got 6'5" Sanaa Bean signed to UTSA. She's playing really well. Just a lockdown defender. If worst case scenario, you know, she's, you know, Wemby on defense, right? Blocking shots, great shot timing. If you don't even need her to score, but, you know, she has been scoring at a high clip, you know, 15, 16, 18, 20 points a game here down the stretch. I love how Edna Carr has challenged themselves down the stretch here. I think they are really seeing that where the bar is at, and yes, we can play with John Curtis. Yes, we can play, and we can beat Walker. So I think they're showing themselves that they can play. Again, though, man, quarterfinal game at home, man. Mardi Gras, you got to show up, bro. You got to show up. But next division here, Huntington, Dominican, 4-5. What's your thoughts here, man? Ponchatoula at the 12.
If I'm Huntington, I would take this draw at the 4 seed right here with this. If this now gotta be leery. Ponchatoula looking sneaky 12 right there. She will be ready. She'll be game able to scheme. You have to prepare for everything she's gonna throw at you. But Huntington's draw here, Tioga or Warren Easton coming to Raspberry Lane. That's gonna be a tough environment for either one of those teams, right? And then Huntington, Dominican, or Ponchatoula having to come up to Shreveport. I would take Huntington on those. Only thing about this, having to go to John Curtis. I mean, having to play John Curtis in the semis, right? That's tough for Huntington, right? I think they would probably want to get to that 3, which they have a perfect opportunity to get to 3. I don't think Huntington will be at 4. I think they'll be at 3. They have an opportunity Friday against Halton, who carries a load of wins, 25 wins. And
Woodlawn's got Zachary, 22-3.
There you go. So who wins that game? Whichever one. If both of them win, then we're talking Huntington's 4. If Huntington wins and Woodlawn drops their game to Zachary, then Huntington's 3 and Woodlawn's 4. And so we still got a lot of basketball to play here on Friday night. And we could be talking about a different arrangement here.
Yep, no doubt, man. And I mean, you get down to the nitty gritty, man. You got some sneaky teams here. You got Lafayette. We talked about Ponchatoula already being sneaky at that 12 seed. Now Lafayette's probably the sneakiest team here at the 11. I think they'll cruise through Ben Franklin. Then they'll be in a dogfight against Chappelle. Go ahead.
Hey, you know, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about this division, and so I reached out to sources down in the Lafayette community, man, and they ain't like how you were disrespecting Lafayette. They said we're disrespecting Lafayette. So they said we have more than just Johnson and whatnot. They said put some respect on their name. So we're gonna put some respect on Lafayette's name. Coach Rogers, new coach there. I had to find out who. There it is right there. Lafayette said we're coming, right? Don't sleep on us, right? Coach Love, Blackburn, right? And so I think there'll be a sneaky 11 seed. I actually like their draw at the 11. You know what I mean? I think they can make it to the quarters. But again, are they built to play Woodlawn, Baton Rouge? Are they built to play Huntington? That's going to be a tough draw for either one of those matchups. Is going to be tough for them. You know, but you know, again, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and you got to go into tough environments. Lafayette coming up to Shreveport, or Lafayette going over to Baton Rouge to play either one, Woodlawn or Huntington. It's gonna be tough, but can they do it? We'll see.
Absolutely, man. I mean, again, no disrespect to have Maja right there. No disrespect to Lafayette, man. They definitely got the talent night in, night out, man. Physical, very aggressive. The mindset on defense, man, is what has carried them and what's going to carry them in the playoffs, right? And then at the end of the day, man, you got a young lady you can hand the ball to, and she can create one-on-one for herself and others. That's kind of what we're leaning there towards with Johnson, man. But the defense is going to carry them, man. And defense travels, where if you have that 11 seed, it's okay as long as you play defense the way they play. The matchup, they're more like a John Curtis style team. So Chappelle has played somebody. I mean, they're in the same division district as John Curtis. So I think they will be ready for that style of play. It's gonna be a physical game. Chappelle's gonna have to throw it inside, get it inside, and really kind of see things go there. But can they handle the physicality of Lafayette? If you can handle the physicality, early, maybe get to the free throw line, especially in a playoff game, that's definitely gonna help. But again, man, Chappelle having a home game. I don't know how many people is going to show up to that game, man. Like, there's just too much shit to
And
do at the end of the day in New Orleans with Mardi Gras going on, man. You're gonna have to
and
schedule that game very well.
Johnson's. I didn't know it until it just slipped my mind until I was going on, some social media, and I saw Johnson's a senior now. And it looks like we've been doing this forever now. Like it's been 4 years already. We remember when she was a freshman
Yep,
with Narcisse Neal, right? Narcisse and Blackburn and Grace Paul, and they had all that crew, right? So she's been doing it. She's battle tested herself because she's been in some more. She's won a state title. Can she lead them to another one? You know what I mean?
yep, absolutely, man. I mean, I think if I'm Chappelle, I don't like that draw, but they're similar to John Curtis. So I do feel like I would be at least ready, right? You're gonna have to get the ball inside, and you're gonna have to bang. You got to get to the free throw line. But that's definitely a great draw for Lafayette. Lafayette can definitely go on the road and win at Chappelle. And then at that point, then you're playing, Woodlawn, Baton Rouge, man. Shout out to Maja, man. Tuning in, watching us. She went bonkers against Huntington last year in the
Yeah.
top 28. I mean, again, Lafayette's a much tougher draw. I think Woodlawn's probably the maybe not like 1 through 4 or 5, whatever, but they're the deepest team. They're going to be a team that's going to play 8, 9 kids, which is good in this division because you're gonna come across foul trouble. You're gonna come across rolled ankles, sickness, whatever it is, right? If you have a deep team and you're able to play 8, 9 people, Woodlawn is one of those few teams in the state that really trust 8 or 9 people, even whenever it gets into the playoffs, man. Trusting 8 or 9 people definitely gives you a benefit. I think that's why I would lean towards Woodlawn winning out of this bracket here. Um, and getting back to that Final Four, man, I want to see Price back in that Final Four, man. She's just one of those kids that gets to that next level. When the stage is the brightest, she rises to that level, man. I really enjoyed. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen at the top 28.
How many did she score in a row? It was she what 22 for 25 for 25 from the free throw line? I think it was.
20 something for 20 something from the free throw line, didn't miss. I mean, and Coach Shine threw everything he can in the kitchen sink at her, and man, just got it done, man. Got it done. But again, we jumped down to the bottom half of this bracket. We're not done here, man. You got Mount Carmel and Liberty, two teams that, again, very well coached, made deep playoff runs. They actually played earlier this year. Mount Carmel won that one. Then whoever wins that would play Edna Carr. You got Riverdale, who's got some talent there. You have a young lady there that transferred in from Mount Carmel over there. St. Scholastica has the seniors, the young ladies are going to play college basketball, right? This is their run. Can they make a run? I don't know, man. This is an interesting little matchup here. You got Carr, who's honestly never been there, and you got St. Scholastica, who has made deep runs and has tried to punch their ticket, right? They made it to the quarterfinals. And Carr is a new kid on the block. Obviously, they have the higher seed there. What's your thoughts, man, overall in this little bracket?
Well, in the car, like you said, with the players and the talent they have there at that school, a big win, obviously, for what they just did on Tuesday night, on last night. So, it's I think they're going to be a tough out for anybody, and they could if it's them and John Curtis, if it's them and Huntington, yes, whoever it is, it's going to be in the car is going to be you're going to have to deal with in the car, and I think it's going to be a tough out for anybody. It's not going to be an easy road. When we're talking about this, when we started the year and we started playing games, and you're like, oh, that's the John Curtis Huntington should be the matchup, and then they're coming in the car out of nowhere, and they're proving that they're worthy. I think if we had any more games, or I don't know what they did early to get behind um, They played. Have they played? Yeah, they played Curtis. Curtis beat them by 9.
It's about Edna
So
Carr and Curtis. Yeah, so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was at that game, and that was a great game. I thought it was close in the score, kind of was. And again, they didn't have Miami Daniels, so Miami Daniels obviously makes a difference. But I thought it did enough for Edna Carr to realize that, hey, we can compete. We can, like, this is obviously where the bar is at, and we can reach that bar. A young lady that, I mean, they've got Edna Carr is built for the playoffs where they're versatile. They've got the best big in the state, 6'4". Sanaa Bean can hold down, defense and offense. She had 18 in that game. I think 4 or 5 blocks, right? So that she makes a difference. No one can really match up with her, kind of in this division. And they got the guard with Cass, one of the best guards in her classification, if not the best guard. But the kid I really want to kind of keep an eye on is a Clayton kid. The Clayton kid is the difference maker if they're gonna make it to the next level, which is like holding up that trophy at the end of the day. If the Clayton kid, like she's a bigger forward, she has an opportunity. She's a mismatch for a lot of people. Cass can bring the ball up, but she's gonna get worn down against that full court man to man John Curtis. If Clayton can kind of help, just alleviate a little bit of that pressure, man, just a little bit of the pressure, man. Clayton can be the difference maker to where they can get the ball advancing down the court, get it to Bean on the inside, maybe they can get a Miami Daniels in foul trouble, and they can have that difference maker. Edna Carr put a huge check mark in the box, and they've got all the confidence in the world going into the playoffs with that win at Walker. Man, that was a huge feather in the cap. I would say they've got all the momentum in the world, man. Again, if you're going to play Woodlawn, Huntington, whoever that ends up being in that bracket, no one can really match up with Bean on the inside. And then Cass matches up good enough with the other guards. It's Ken Clayton at the end of the day. I mean, Clayton's got to step up and get those guys over the hump there. Who else we got? Is this the bottom of this bracket? Yeah, so we're into the next one, man. What anybody else, man? Comment below, guys. Let us know. I love this division, man. This is going to be a fun division to keep an eye on. Like we talked about, brackets 8 through 12. And this one, man, is going to be wide open, man. So it could be a lot of movement here. Do not take this bracket from what we got. This is all projections. The final bracket will come out on Monday. There's going to be a lot of movement here. But I think no team is as hot as Edna Carr. Woodlawn's got arguably the best player, like we saw from last year. Just went out and just put the team on her back. Huntington's got a chip on their shoulder. They're probably the most talented team. And then John Curtis is John Curtis, man. Like it is what it is, man. They just find a way to win. They've got 3, 4 young ladies, 5 with Imani coming back that would play college basketball. They'll have 5 kids on the court at all times that play college basketball, man. It's gonna be it's a fun division, man. Division 1 is really fun. And we're just talking about the top 4, not even 8 through 12 like we talked about. But let's jump into the next one, man. Last but not least, again, we're going reverse order here, man. Division 1 non-select, man. Shout out to Parkway, man. I don't know who's coaching those teams over there, man, but they're doing a fantastic job, man. Got things rocking and rolling like we talked about before. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. We're just going to play whoever we're going to play. But Parkview's done their definitely due diligence in getting that 1 seed, man. They'll hold on to the 1 seed. And some sneaky teams, man. Slidell, we talked about it. That's a sneaky team. You got Santa Ma's a sneaky team. Dillon Springs is also a sneaky team. Mandeville's a sneaky team. You got 4 teams in here that are pretty sneaky in this bracket, man. Again, this is my first time really looking at this. If I am Parkway, I'm not really too excited about some of the draws here. You got Mandeville, who made it to the top 28 last year. Denham made it to the top 28. Slidell is an up-and-coming team. And we talked about Santa Ma, is probably the best 24 seed in the state with getting Ryan back. I think Parkview is definitely the better team. Shout out to Coach Chad from Only Opinions, the Instagram broadcast, man. They were talking about it earlier. Parkway is the only team that has state championship experience in this bracket with Ponchatoula moving out. So no one has got as much experience as Parkway. And I think experience goes a long ways. And once you get to that top 28, it goes to a whole nother level. But Yeah, man. Anybody in the comments, man, comment below. Let us know, man. What's your thoughts? Coach Kendrick, man, you want to say anything about this, man? Or you just want to let this one go, man? Smart idea, man. But I mean, Mandeville's gonna be tough, man. Obviously, they got one of the youngest, one of the best young up and coming guards there. Thibodeau plays extremely tough. Denham Springs and Santa I believe, played earlier, man. You know, Denham get made to the top 28. Denham Springs is Santa. Denham beat Santa by 1 point earlier, so that's tough. East St. John's playing some good basketball. Slidell is really up and coming, man. 22-6. Um, they've lost to North Shore by 3, and then before that, they haven't lost since January 3rd. So this is a very, very tough bracket right here. Very, very tough
Well,
matchup. Hopefully, some teams move around a little bit.
I will say this: just crunching the numbers. I'm a PowerPoint guy. Just crunching the numbers. I'm pretty sure some of that'll change by the time we're done on Friday and Saturday, though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if not, man, I'll say some prayers for you at church myself, man, because that is a tough little bracket right there for being the two-time defending state champs. And you look up there and you got people that were in the state tournament with you last year, as well as Slidell, who's up and coming. You know, you've got a bunch of really, really tough teams there. We'll jump into the next one, man. 4 or 5 matchup. Houghton versus Barb. We've talked about this matchup for now 3 weeks now, and it still seems to be the same. You gave a shout out, man. Northwood Shreve, man. Northwood Shreve sitting there at 21. Hahnville plays really physical basketball. They shoot it a little bit as well. Hahnville, got a win last year in the first round versus North Shore. So, can Northwood Shreve go down to Hahnville and win there? I think so. I think that definitely is a tough draw there for Hahnville.
Jalen Marshall is the real deal, man. Jalen Marshall is the real deal. Booker, I think that's her last name, right? I think that's her last name. Rogers, the company, the other kid, the big they have. I'm sorry. They are the real deal. Shout out to Rustin, knocking on the back door right there, Coach the Coopers. Please don't let the Coopers get in. They the 2-time state champions, right? They're gonna have their girls ready to rumble. That's gonna be a good matchup, Barb and Rustin. If that's the matchup.
Yeah, if I'm Barb, that's not somebody I want to see at the 28 seed in the first round.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody else for sure. Not somebody that's going to hype the team up and get them ready to roll. Because we saw that with the Coopers, man. Coopers get their guys ready to roll. They play at a different level in the playoffs. So again, some really good matchups, man. You got EA, Ouachita Parish. I can see Ouachita coming down and beating EA. Their EA's played a little slighter schedule outside of their district. But Houghton, man, I like Houghton's draw there. I think Houghton can make a good draw there. I think they've got a little easier draw there on the bottom side if this were to happen this way. And I would not be surprised, man. Again, we've seen Houghton, get upset in the first round, make it to the second round, knocking on the door. I think this could be the year, man. I think this could be the year, especially if the draw is like this. Just competing in that district that you guys have, man, night in, night out, has kind of prepared them for this, man. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. When you're trying to catch the bar that's been raised by Parkway, yeah, man, I think Houghton's doing a great job, man, closing that gap, getting it there, and now they got a 4 next to their name, which is huge, man. We have some people talking about now. It's Zachary's time, man. That window is closing, man. We talked about that already, man. The window closes extremely fast. The freshmen become sophomores, sophomores become juniors, juniors become seniors. Now you got McPipe as a senior. You got little Ava is getting older as well, man. That window is shrinking fast, man, especially in this 5A basketball. So it's been so impressive for Parkway and Zach and Walker, year in, year out, making it to that Final Four. It's nothing to freaking no disrespect at all, man. That's just so hard, year in, year out, man. To not get upset, fight through injuries or fatigue, whatever it is. Zachary's got to punch the ticket, man. Like they've been upset in the quarters multiple years now. They have had home games in the quarters and just haven't been able to punch it. Is this going to be the year, man? Neville is a much better draw, I think, than they've had in the past. Could that Neville turn into Natchez Central? Could that Neville turn into Slidell or somebody like that? Could Neville turn into Barb? Neville could turn into a bunch of scary teams. If I'm Zachary there, man, I'm rooting for Zachary, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to step up and you got to get over that hump, man. Another fun matchup: North Shore versus HL Bourgeois. North Shore's got one of the best guards in the state. Like we talked about, she's dropped 80 something points in 2-game combination. She's going to have to really step up. HL Bourgeois's got kids that have played together before, have played together for a long time. They've got a more of a complete whole team than North Shore. They're going to be really physical, really getting after it. They're going to travel well. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to give North Shore everything they can handle. I think North Shore is the better team. But HL Bourgeois, I think they will really look into, like, they would be excited about getting up to play a Spencer in the first round and obviously have the opportunity to upset them. Destrehan versus Benton, man. Destrehan, man. Shout out to Destrehan. Destrehan's playing some really good basketball, man. That's probably a sneaky team. Let's go through their schedule real quick. They haven't lost since January 13th. They beat Southern Lab by 1. They beat HL Bourgeois in overtime. Beat Hanville. We talked about them. They beat Hanville by 30. Beat Thibodaux. I think they beat John Curtis as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, they beat John Curtis. Destrehan, man. That's a scary team in this division with a 14 next to their name. Destrehan beats Benton. You got Zachary in the next round, man. They beat some big-time teams already, man. Destrehan with behind Corey over there. Corey had originally been at Crystal City and transferred to Destrehan, man. Corey Urson, man, she's playing some really good basketball, man. Shout out to her and shout out to Destrehan, man. Destrehan is a sneaky 20-8 at that 14 seed, man. Coach, you got anything you want to say about on this group?
Nah, man. I'll hold all comments.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Bean there, man. Yeah, definitely. You had told me about Ursa, man. She is playing really well, man. Playing really, really well. Natchitoches Central here. Natchitoches Central and Walker. We talked about Walker is beatable. I think that is good for teams in this division to see Edna Carr go into Walker and beat them. That makes it like a little bit more likely. Hey, we can do this. We can get this done. I think that game meant so much for Edna Carr. I think it also may have woken Walker up a little bit as well. But it is a message to everyone in this division that you can actually go on the road and win at Walker. It is possible, although it has not been done in years now, where especially once it comes to the playoffs. But Natchitoches Central is a tough draw there for Walker. Sulphur's won a lot of games. Airline is in one of the toughest divisions, and we talked about it. Terrebonne, man. Terrebonne is a very, very good young team that's just finding ways to win games, man. Shout out to Cassie Barrios, the former player of mine, man, the best player to ever suit up to put on a Nickel State women's basketball jersey. She'll be in the Hall of Fame over there. She was just inducted into the Hall of Fame there this year, man. But she's got that team rocking and rolling. Terrebonne is going to be a team like Houghton that you're going to keep an eye on. They're going to really grow from 18. They're going to kind of climb their ranks over these next 3 or 4 years. But can they get it done on the road at Airline and then possibly play at Walker? Get that experience playing that first, second round. I'm looking forward to this division, man. This is some fun basketball. A lot of movement. Again, guys, we got games Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Brackets will be released Monday. Those games are released. I think brackets are released a little after lunch. Sometimes they kind of get hung up a little bit. But brackets will be released on Monday. Games have to be played by Thursday. Some games will be played on Wednesday. We will check back probably like Tuesday, maybe even Monday night with I'll check with Coach, see when he's available. We'll check back and go back over the brackets once they're finalized. But Coach, you want to leave us with anything else, man?
Nah, man, it's go time. Friday night, and then it's time to prepare and go get it.
What's your message to all the teams and young ladies, man, as they're getting ready for this, fans, the parents, everything, man. You guys have gone on the road of down, not necessarily on the road at home games, but you've gone down this stretch, the state championship run. What is it, like some keys to advice, just players, coaches, fans, everything, over this next stretch? Because, March, we're a month from now, all the state championships will be crowned, right? So we're a month into this next stretch. What's some advice you can give to them for this next month?
I just tell you what I tell my girls: embrace it. You know what I mean? Embrace it, enjoy it, the process. But one thing that we take pride in is preparation. Don't skip the part of preparation. Proper preparation prevent poor performance, right? And if you just prepare like it's the World Beater, if it's the Walker, it's the Parkway, it's the Southern Lab, it's the you got to prepare like they're the best team in the state every time, and don't leave anything unturned, any stone unturned, and give it your best, leave it on the court, and live with the results.
I love it, man. Now, I really want to challenge all the fans, the parents, family members, everybody, man. Like, this is the season that's coming down to the wire, and this is one of the longest seasons, man. So, whatever you can, man. Obviously, a lot of people that are tuning in and watching this game are going to come. But I challenge you to, to bring more people with you, man. Bring, 4 or 5 people. If everybody watching this feed brings 3, 4 people with them to the game, encourages those guys to come to the game, instead of having 100 people at the game, you'll have 300, 400. Instead of having 300, 400, you'll have 1,000 people at the game. So do whatever you can, man. Bring these guys to these games. Bring the young kids to the games. Help some more people fall in love with the game. Whatever you can, man. Help support because this is going to be over like this. We're going to start with 24 and 28 teams, and then after the first week, half the teams are going to be gone. After the second week, there's only going to be 60 teams left in the state. So we're going to go through this thing really, really fast, man. Take advantage of these opportunities. Obviously, you're going to the game. Bring somebody with you, man. That's my challenge. Bring somebody with you. Invite everybody and anybody you can, man. This is the last rodeo here, man. So make it happen. Make it happen. Okay, anything else, Coach?
Oh, see
Yeah, man.
everybody next
Appreciate
week,
everybody for
baby.
watching us, man. Tuning in, man. We'll be back. We'll let everybody know. We'll come back either Monday or Tuesday, maybe even probably Monday and Tuesday. Go down through the brackets, man. Tune in. Good luck to everybody in these next couple of games. We'll be glued to our TV, man, on Monday, watching the computer, seeing whenever the brackets will be released. We'll update those as soon as they go out. But good luck to everybody. Safe travels and good health, man. Until